So Martinez was heavily linked, wasn't he, with the move to Manchester United on the last day of the window, but United opted to sign Lammens instead. That is how you say it. We've checked it. Speak to him if you're not happy with that one. Rob, are you surprised that United let that opportunity of a World Cup winner go by?
No. But I can understand why a lot of football fans are. Look, on the face of it, it makes no sense, does it? And you've got Lammens, who is a prospect. You know, the data which Manchester United are using increasingly in their recruitment, which a lot of other clubs at the top end of the Premier League have done as well. All of the data said that this guy has the potential to be Manchester United's number one in years to come. But people would say, well, hang on, Martinez could be your number one now. He's a World Cup winner with Argentina, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. They didn't even try for Gianluigi Donnarumma, who is one of the best goalkeepers of his generation. Why? Because there's been a change in policy, a change in strategy at Manchester United. They don't want to buy more experienced players in on huge wages who have no sell-on value from the club's perspective, which they've done an awful lot of in the past. Their focus is on trying to do more of what Chelsea have done, buy young talent that they can improve, who they believe have the potential to be first-team players and superstars in the years to come, so that they're not wasting money. We know that it's tight with PSR, and their entire focus in this window was in attacking areas. They spent £207.2 million on 3 attacking players, and they think they've got the best in class when it comes to Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko. They're delighted with that work, and they did that knowing that they need to improve midfield, knowing that they need to improve defence, but knowing also that they can't solve all of the squad's imbalances in one transfer window. And all of the strategy for Manchester United said, we have to score more goals. If we want to make it into the top 6, we have to score more goals. And that is more important than us stopping goals, more important than us conceding fewer goals. So that's why this window is focused entirely on the attacking areas. It'll be a different focus in the next transfer window. It's all part of Manchester United's regeneration. The fans won't necessarily agree with it. They won't necessarily understand it. They'll be crying out for a midfielder, I'm sure. Yeah. United will say we've got 4 top-quality international midfielders and we've got Kobbie Mainoo who can't even get in the side at the minute. Why would we buy another midfielder? Man United fans won't like that, but they're sticking to their guns, the Manchester United bosses. They have a new strategy, it's data-led, and they're going to stick with that until it brings them success. And
look, Carver, they've tried to, as Rob has said there, buy young, exciting talent with sell-on value in the names like Jadon Sancho, Anthony, Rasmus Højlund, who were all 21, 22, even younger than that when they came in. 86 million, 72 million, 73. Add that one up if you can. And, then you've got Anthony leaving for, what, £21.7 million and the other 2 on loan. It's not a great look, is it?
It isn't, but I think United have cut their losses on some of those players. Anthony, you mentioned, I think they signed him, 3 years ago for 100 million euros. They're letting him go for 25 million euros 3 years later. But these were decisions that were made by different people at Manchester United. We know now Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe are in charge of the football operations. And the same has happened at Chelsea. The new people who are inside the building have to deal with some mistakes that were made in the past, and they have to make losses and they have to make big calls. And that is why they've had to act with these players. I think in the short term, it's bad medicine to take, but I think in the long term, it's for the best for everyone at the club.
Yeah, I just wonder in the last 30 seconds we've got, Rob, less than that, how happy Amorim will be with that window out of 10.
Look, I think he's bought into the project. He's part of the discussions, and all of the transfers that were made with his blessing and his understanding. So yeah, it feels like they're all on the same page right now. They haven't got every decision right, but they've got a lot of more work to do. It's been described to me as a juggernaut, Manchester United, that hasn't had anybody piloting it right in the past. They think, hopefully, they're steering it in the right direction now.
One secret to reveal from the summer transfer window is on Manchester United. In the last 48 hours of the summer transfer window, Man United tried to sign Conor Gallagher. Man United considered that possibility, to go for Conor Gallagher. Then, it was not possible. to make it happen, because Man United wanted to sign Gallagher on a loan deal, while Atletico Madrid already rejected an approach from Crystal Palace 10 days ago for Conor Gallagher on loan. The top targets for Palace were Conor Gallagher and Jeremy Pino. Jeremy Pino arrived. Gallagher, they tried to bring him back to the club. If I remember well, he was already player of the season at Palace in 2022, so he knows the club very well, but then the answer from Atletico to Manchester United was no chance to that surprise proposal made by Manchester United in the final hours of the summer transfer window. So they tried for a midfielder, but no for the Conor Gallagher deal. Something else, guys, to mention on Manchester United is regarding Dibu Martinez. Because Manchester United tried for Dibu Martinez in the final days of the summer transfer window, but it was not possible to reach an agreement with Aston Villa. Aston Villa never considered a loan as a possibility for Emi Martinez, while Manchester United were hoping to do a swap with Jadon Sancho, not in the same negotiation, in separate discussions, but to find a solution. Something like you get Sancho on a permanent transfer and we can find a solution for Emi Martinez. No, because Sancho went on loan to Aston Villa. About Sancho, we'll tell you more in the next hours. But on Dibu Martinez, I can tell you that Dibu was really ready on the move. Dibu was really prepared to go, but this deal didn't happen because Lammens was available on different conditions, 21 million euros plus add-ons, but paid in several years and also with a completely different salary compared to Emi Martinez. So Manchester United decided to proceed for Lammens. They believe he's a goalkeeper for present, but also for the future, with big talent, with the opportunity to develop, and so the Dibu Martinez deal collapsed. Dibu is not going to Turkey. Galatasaray thought about this possibility on deadline day, but the player is not keen on that kind of move. He prefers to stay in Europe. Is World Cup season, so he wants to stay in Premier League, and the decision of Dibu Martinez is very clear. He also received some approaches from Saudi over the summer, but from what I'm told, the clear priority of Dibu has always been to stay in Europe. Aston Villa hope to continue with Dibu. Aston Villa are more than happy with him, even if there was this possibility with Man United. Dibu is considered the starting goalkeeper by Aston Villa. This is why they didn't buy any other keeper. They thought about Lammens, but then Lammens ended up at Manchester United, and so that was the story for Dibu Martinez. We are going important. Kobbie Mainoo again spoke to Manchester United, even after the press conference from Ruben Amorim, to tell Man United, we appreciate what Ruben Amorim said. Remember, Ruben Amorim said Kobbie Mainoo has to stay, Kobbie Mainoo is too important, we want him to be part of the squad. So Mainoo received a clear message from Amorim, closing the doors and the player stays here. But Mainoo, even after that, told again to Manchester United that he wants to leave the club, that he wants to go on loan, not to leave forever, not to leave on a permanent transfer, let me clarify that again, but to leave on loan. So Mainoo maintains his intention to go out, away of Manchester United for this season on loan and to play on consistent basis. So let's follow the situation, let's follow the story, but Kobbie Mainoo remains an important topic of this.
In recent days, Manchester United has experienced one of the busiest transfer windows in recent years. Pressured by below-expected results and the need to wipe out the board promoted important changes that directly impact Ruben Amorim's team. Between sales, loans, and a contract for the goal, the club tries to enrich the squad and prepare for the season that promises to be challenging. The highlight goes to the departures. Antony left Old Trafford for Real Betis for around £21.7 million, an amount that includes a 50% resale clause in case of future negotiations. Jadon Sancho has been loaned to Aston Villa, who will pay 80% of his salaries. Rasmus Højlund has agreed to a loan with Napoli, with an obligation to buy if the club guarantees a place in the next Champions League. These movements show that United did not hesitate to give up expensive players, prioritizing financial balance and new bets. While 3 offensive names came out, the club reinforced the goal. Senna Lammens from Royal arrives for around £18.2 million, contract until 2030. With forecast of evolution and pressure to deliver results, Onana and Bayindir have not convinced so far. There were also conversations with Emiliano Martinez, but the negotiation did not advance. Among the midfielders, no major changes were confirmed. Carlos Baleba was aired, but there was no progress. Bruno Fernandes trajectory gains. Trajectory and technical reference of the squad. His future remains uncertain, but there is no indication of departure. Neither Fabrizio Romano nor Sky Sports pointed out proposals or negotiations. Bruno remains the pillar of the team, there is still the possibility of new departures, especially for Turkey, Greece, Portugal, and Saudi Arabia. Players like Onana, Bayındır, and Malaysia can be fascinating. For Amorim, the mission is to pull a lean squad, betting on youth and discipline to put United back among the protagonists of the Premier League. The window shows profound changes at Old Trafford. The club is not afraid to give up investments that did not succeed and is betting on promising names. It remains to be seen whether the choices will bring results on the field. And you fans, what did you think of United's movements in this window? Did the team come out strong or lose too many pieces? Leave your opinion down there.